Hey, Blues Traveler tomorrow, September 30. Dana Carvey, Saturday, which is October 1st. Ron White, October 22nd. Christina P., November 19th. Joey Diaz, November 23rd. What am I talking about? Parks Casino. This is how you win. Parks Casino, the number one casino in Pennsylvania, so close to New Jersey, New York, Delaware. They've got it all. Your game day destination, Saturdays and Sundays, state-of-the-art sportsbook at Parks Casino. As a matter of fact, that storm, which is now a tropical storm, Ian, as it makes its way to the Northeast, it's going to rain all weekend long. Go inside at Parks Casino. Click parkscasino.com for all the details and tickets to the event. You got to be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Time now for the headlines from Smerconish.com, the newsletter. Okay, so a month ago, in fact, August 2nd, this was the story. Dateline, Washington, Representative Jackie Walorski, Republican of Indiana, was killed in a car accident in her district on Wednesday. According to her office, she was 58. Ms. Walorski's husband, Dean Swihart, was informed of her death by the Elkhart County Sheriff's Office. Her office said in a statement, quote, "She has returned home to be with her Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Please keep her family in your thoughts and prayers." You'll remember this. She was traveling with two aides who were also killed in the crash when a passenger car and a sport utility vehicle collided head-on. There was a statement released at the time from the White House. The White House put out a statement in the president's name saying that the president and first lady were shocked and saddened by her death. The statement just hours after the crash said, quote, "My team and I appreciated her partnership as we plan for a historic White House conference on hunger, nutrition, and health this fall that will be marked by her deep care for the needs of rural America." Well, said conference was yesterday at the White House. The president appeared and said this.
And I want to thank all of you here, for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this a reality.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell does that happen?
That's a tough one.
How the hell does that happen? I've seen the videos. There are a few of them now, where one in particular, but there are more than one now, where he finishes a speech and then looks to the wrong side and there's nobody there, and then almost jokingly shakes hands like it's a,
I meant to do this, but he didn't.
I meant to do this.
He didn't correct himself on this one. That's something that stood out to me. There are times when we lose people that. Usually people that are really close to you, that you wake up in the morning and forget that they're gone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, I can understand that being like, for a second, like, oh my God, I completely forgot. Then you catch yourself really fast. That did not happen yesterday. No.
Yeah,
no.
I mean,
I can't. There's no
explanation.
No.
And I forget what I've eaten for breakfast.
Of course. No. That's all normal forgetfulness. That was different. And that's also something that you correct yourself.
I was interested to see how is it going to be covered.
Like, it's not a gaffe.
No.
It's not a gaffe.
It's not a gaffe. It's not a gaffe. And I think like 2 days ago, I have to say this in a nice way to you, TC.
Oh, no.
I made a comment about the president rapid fire speaking. And I said, he's got to just slow down because it's a word salad and like none of it matters. Take a breath. And I think you pushed back on me a little bit. Slow the F down.
I have no recollection of that.
I do. The audience does. They were very upset. Lots of social media.
I feel like they're all on your side.
Lots of social media.
And I'm wrong, as usual.
No, there's power in a pause.
I totally agree with you on that.
I say in a pause. Right? And he's just so... And everything gets lost.
Yeah.
Is there any rehearsal of when he's going to make public remarks?
I don't know the answer to that. But that was awful. It was awful.
I mean, how does it happen? Was it in the prompter?
No way.
Maybe
of course not.
Her name was in the prompter where he's supposed to say, and of course we are missing.
Right.
Representative Walorski.
Or thanking the family, which is what the White House then turned around and said.
By the way, I think the family's going to be at the White House tomorrow.
Oh, jeez.
So this whole thing's going to get repurposed and packaged. I wanted to see, I think the first place that I saw it was Mediaite, okay?
Yes.
So I watched it on Mediaite, and then I became very interested to see how news outlets are going to cover it.
Yeah.
You have to cover this.
You have to cover
You
it.
have to cover it. You don't have legitimacy if you ignore this.
I agree with that.
It's embarrassing. It's sad.
Yep.
He's the president. Do I even need to say, imagine if it were Trump?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Be all over it.
All over.
All over it. So
on the same loop that we're seeing. I mean, the only reason that we're not seeing it completely on loop is because of Hurricane Ian.
Correct.
So Mediaite first.
Mediaite first. I go over to CNN because I want to know, and I'm just thinking, like, in the Chris Licht era, you got to run this story.
Right.
It wasn't initially at CNN. I was monitoring different outlets. I mean, if you're
as the afternoon went on, right?
Yeah. If you're curious, I mean, print edition of the New York Times, Michael Shear, one of their A-listers.
I was going to say significant
story.
Piece, yeah.
It's in the Washington Post today. NPR goes with it. I'm like, okay, NPR.
Open door.
Right, NPR is now doing it. So then it was on CNN, and it's Chris Licht, and I thought this was very interesting. The headline on it, Joe Biden's latest gaffe plays right into Republicans' hands. Huh.
Interesting. True. Perhaps not
is that
exactly the angle.
The angle here is not the Republicans.
Right.
He made a blunder, a gaffe, something that's got to be discussed.
Bigger than either of those two words.
But it's not like, oh, this is it's got nothing to do with the Republicans.
But it is true. I mean, they're thrilled.
Yeah. I don't know. So okay, now it is the White House press secretary's job to clean up on aisle 4. Karine Jean-Pierre has to deal with this, and the reporters appropriately want to know, like, what the hell?
The president was naming the congressional champions on this issue and was acknowledging her incredible work. He had already planned to welcome the Congresswoman's family to the White House on Friday. There will be a bill signing in her honor this coming Friday. So, of course, she was on his mind. She was of top of mind for the president. He very much looks forward to discussing her remarkable legacy of public service with them when he sees her family this coming.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, what would you have her say?
No. She's. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because if her death is top of mind, it was just a month ago, then why are you looking for her
here's
in the
a question.
room? But I just want to say this about Karine Jean-Pierre, who I don't think is as effective as Jen Psaki. I think Jen Psaki was really, really good at her job. It's a tough job.
What would she have said?
I was about to say, TC.
I'm wondering how you handle
power of the pause. I was about to say, even though I don't think Karine Jean-Pierre is as effective as Jen Psaki, I think what she said yesterday is the best you can say. Imagine if you were trotted out to clean that up. What are you going to say? The Congresswoman was top of mind because of her tragic passing only a month ago.
Would you ever say something like, no, I guess you can't just say like, wow, what
like
a
he had a brain farkle?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, TC. Tomorrow the family's coming. Now what do you do? Because it's not a one and done. Tomorrow, at least on Fox, I don't think the others will.
They'll be showing it live. They'll be pulling the thing from C-SPAN.
Oh yeah, they'll be regurgitating it all over again. He can't run. He can't run in 2024.
They've got to know that.
He can't run in 2024.
I know. I hear you.
He can't.
I hear you.
Don't tell me about Trump. It's not about Trump. I'm just making a point about Biden. I have the man's best interest at heart. I believe it to be. Remember when I did, TC, it was in May that I did that commentary on CNN. May.
That's true.
When I said, now he should say he's not running.
You
and
did say that.
people are pissed at me right?
They'll never watch again.
Right. They keep promising.
And they're still yelling at you.
They keep promising.
I know.
But I said in May,
Yeah.
he should announce now
Yeah.
that he's not running, take himself out of the issue, out of the midterm equation.
Yeah.
And many, many more have come around to that. They have to know. Jill has to know.
I hope so, but I don't know if it's like they just want to protect his heart. You know, I mean, does it become really personal at some point? I don't know the answer, Michael. I just don't know.
Oh.
I know. That was my reaction
And
too.
it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder what goes on when the camera's not on.
Right.
And I got to say one other thing. Mark Halpern has told us, not yesterday on his appearance here, but Mark Halpern has said to us he's got a lot of reporting about, things that go on behind the scenes that have not been reported that are in this vein.
Yeah,
All right, are we done with this for now?
I think we're done for now.
Okay. Yesterday's poll results 14,229. Impressive.
Wait till we get to the social media tomorrow. People were so into this topic.
Really?
Yes, hugely.
Would you patronize a business knowing you disagree with the political views of its owner? 55% and change said yes.
Pretty close, by the way.
This was all because I told the story here yesterday. We've got the Pennsylvania gubernatorial, Josh Shapiro, Doug Mastriano, Super MAGA. Mastriano was given $1 million by the Uihleins of the Chicago area of packaging catalog fame. And I said, I love that catalog. That's where I get my bubble wrap.
You said with great specificity.
Yeah.
You discussed your love of the catalog.
Their catalog is a marvel.
Yes.
Their catalog is a marvel. So I said, what am I supposed to do? Because Mastriano has said some wacky things.
Right. And the conclusion was?
I'm going to still buy from the catalog.
Right.
But a lot of other people wouldn't. And according to our poll,
time.
44%, 45% rounded off.
Twitter, I think, as is sometimes the case, was even more against it. I would put it more than 55% of the Twitter. No, I think it would be the reverse.
Right.
Twitter was against supporting him.
Yeah, well, but if the facts were different and if it were a progressive candidate, I think it would have been different.
I heard a lot about Hobby
is.
Lobby and Chick-fil-A.
Right, exactly.
That's what went on.
Exactly. Speaking of Mastriano, on Monday night, his campaign posted on Facebook a photo of two hands under the words 40 days of fasting and prayer, with the dates September 29, which is today, through November 8.
Wow.
Interceding for our elections, our state, and our nation, along with a verse from the book of Isaiah. I think I'm on board for this.
On board for what?
For fasting for 40 days with Mastriano.
You're not going to fast for 40 days. You can't fast for 40 minutes.
I just increased a belt loop.
About? What? You went up one?
I just had to increase a belt loop.
Keep the pants on, all right? Just keep your pants on.
But I'm just saying.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to fast. I think I'm fasting with Doug.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, hang on.
How about if I just give up a meal a week?
A meal, this is your plan.
It's Mastriano inspired.
Maybe you'll do intermittent fasting. Like you'll wake up and then not eat until like noon.
I'll be so hungry at noon. Can you imagine how much I'll eat at noon?
You'll be hungry at 7 a.m. You'll be a disaster.
I'm hungry right now.
So when are you going to stop eating? Because you've already eaten today.
Well, whoa. The day is young.
I'm just saying, you had breakfast.
I'm gonna cut back and see if I could drop like 5 or 10.
Do you weigh yourself?
No.
Me neither.
But I would know.
Yeah. So
I would know. I think I have an uncanny ability to tell the time without looking.
What does that have to do with how much you weigh?
You could test. Well, if you interrupted me again.
Oh, wait, power of the pause?
Yes, the power of the pause. I think I can do likewise with my weight.
Yeah?
Like I know how heavy I am.
Oh, okay.
I know how heavy I am.
Oh.
So should I join the Mastriano campaign?
Absolutely not.
Prayer and fasting for 40 days.
Yeah, sure. But wait, what is the actual plan? Is it like sunrise to sunset? Are we doing biblical stuff?
Starting in a few days, he wrote in the post, it'll be my honor to fast with you. While it's unclear who Mastriano expects to start fasting on Thursday, do you think he has me in mind?
I don't know. Do you think he's listening? Call him up.
John Fetterman has scrubbed Black Lives Matter from his campaign site.
Uh-oh.
Oz may catch him.
Really?
Shapiro's not going to catch
Other way around.
Yeah, Mastriano's not going to catch Shapiro.
Yeah.
But, and I wonder, by the way, I want to float this notion.
Oh,
I want to float this
First
notion.
heard now.
Yeah. I wonder if the worse Mastriano, Republican, running for governor, the worse he does, the better for Oz. Pennsylvania has a history of ticket splitting. In the era of Specter and Casey, I'll vote for Specter the R and Casey the D.
I mean, is the idea that, okay, we can't have Mastriano, but you know what? We feel better. I mean, he's better than Mastriano.
I don't want to vote for. I don't want to vote for all these Democrats.
Right.
I'm not going to vote for Mastriano. I'll vote for Shapiro. All right, I'll vote for Oz.
Yeah, we'll balance it out.
Remember, I said this.
Interesting.
Forget it if I'm wrong. Yesterday.
It'll be my idea if it was wrong.
I know, that was yesterday. Today, agree or disagree, allowing so-called price gouging is actually the most efficient way to regulate supply after a storm. David Meyer, a former economist for the Federal Trade Commission, among many economists who make that argument. I'll just give you 2 sentences from an essay that he wrote. While allowing prices to increase substantially due to a natural disaster or a supply disruption may seem unfair, price regulation through price gouging laws makes matters worse because they reduce available quantities. So as Hurricane Ian, now Tropical Storm Ian, is reduced in power and people are really in trouble in Florida, and whether it's water or gasoline, when you hear a story about price gouging, I don't know, ask yourself, does allowing so-called price gouging actually efficiently regulate supply in these circumstances after a storm? TC, you saw the reporter in Florida from an NBC affiliate who protected her microphone?
You know what? If you need protection, you need protection. You know, I think that being a responsible reporter and taking care of your own equipment is the best way to go about the day.
And if you're intrigued by that, look at the newsletter. Yeah. Look at the newsletter and look at the photograph.
See if you get distracted.
There's a county commissioner in Florida appointed by Ron DeSantis.
Oh, this is not funny.
KKK.
Come on.
Uniform, apparently at a Halloween party, because I saw a skeleton in the background. It's years old. So he really did have a skeleton in the closet, didn't he?
Oh, geez. Oh, boy. Look at what you did there.
Whack.
Seriously.
Nearly 2 years after Donald Trump launched his relentless and baseless assault on the legitimacy of the 2020 presidential election, a new Yahoo YouGov poll says less than half of Americans now believe that candidates, 46%, now believe that candidates should commit in advance to accepting the results of this year's midterms. Wait a minute. What? Almost a half of Americans, according to this survey, say, no, don't commit in advance that you're going to abide by the outcome.
That's insane.
Scary,
That's insane.
right?
My headline for that one was death of civility and democracy. That's crazy.
Meghan and Harry, I knew this would be the case.
Oh, boy.
After being, home for him, now, or apparently, page 6 says it's got to be true, scrambling to rewrite the book that they're about to publish this docuseries.
That's a good thing, right?
And King Charles is saying that he's going to hold off on a decision as to what titles he will give the Sussex children until he sees the book and the docuseries. That's brilliant.
I think that's so smart.
Right?
I think it's so smart.
Yeah, wait to see the book.
It's all right. Let's just see what you got there. Mm-hmm. I don't believe any of it. I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, but I've learned enough that you just cannot believe what people write about the royals because they're so locked down that it's pure speculation.
I know what to believe.
Page 6. That's what you believe.
Yesterday, David Waldstein from the New York Times was here.
That got a big reaction,
too. It was fun. It was really great.
Media reaction.
So I didn't know this, but the big story today, of course, is that finally Aaron Judge.
Can you believe that?
Aaron Judge has tied Roger Maris. And I guess in anticipation of this milestone, that's why David wrote the piece in the New York Times. It's all about the extent to which the MLB goes to authenticate things used in connection with the game, a bat, a ball, a base, a glove, whatever the case may be. And they don't just do it for a milestone like this. They do it for every single game.
I just thought it was so cool. That conversation was fun.
I totally
on a multitude of reasons. He writes so well. He also tells this yarn, he spins it well. And so the two of you had such a good conversation about something that was really interesting. It would have been interesting no matter what, even if he was kind of wonky and dry, but he wasn't. He was so interesting.
We did a short call segment what you got
What you
in
got.
terms of sports memorabilia. And I shared some knickknacks that I have, including a street hockey mask that I used to wear in the 70s that when I later met and kind of befriended my idol, Bernie Perrant, I had him sign it.
Check out Instagram.
So I told the story yesterday to my guest, David Waldstein, and he said, is it a Phil Esposito model? And I knew exactly what he was talking about.
I had, of course, no idea what he was talking about.
So it's kind of a reduced mask, not like Bernie's mask. So offline, I sent him, as I often do, a thank you note for being on the program. Thank you. You were really great today. And I attached a photograph of my Bernie Perrant street hockey mask.
Here's what I got.
And then he replied to me, acknowledging me and attaching a photograph of a Phil Esposito signed mask, I guess, which is his.
Boys will be boys.
Now, here's the question that I had.
What?
I know why I was so easily able to take a picture of my Bernie mask.
Why?
Because I know right where I keep it. How was he so
He's a
able
sports guy.
to turn around and send me a Phil Esposito pic of his own mask?
He's like Bill Brennan. He has everything carefully cataloged and organized in his collection.
I did tell you I'm on TikTok, Bill Brennan. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're out of time. I just looked at the clock.
Overtime.
Price gouging. Price gouging. Go vote at Smerconish.com today on a price gouging poll question. Cannot wait to see the final result of that.